Hello everyone, welcome to Michael Sliwinski's webinar on how to communicate through tasks and stop using email to get projects done. My name is Natalia and I will be the panelist for today's webinar. The webinar will be divided into two parts. The first one will be Michael's presentation and it will take about an hour. In his presentation, Michael will share with you some of his best tips and tricks on collaboration and communication through tasks. The second part of the webinar will be an approximately half an hour Q&A session where Michael and I will be answering some of your questions. You can submit your questions in the Q&A box that you can see at the top of your screens. And next to the Q&A box, there's also the chat box where you can chat or ask questions to other attendees, as well as the panelists of the webinar, Marcin, whom you cannot see, but who is here with us, and myself. Okay, so firstly, before we get started, let's hear from you guys who are joining us right now. So if you could just head up to the chat window for me and tell us where you're joining us from today. Let's see, Washington, D.C., Houston, New York, Ohio, Holland, Alabama, New York, Los Angeles. Oh my God, it's going so quick that I can't even read all of those. Vancouver, Canada, Charleston, Amsterdam, Mississippi, Valencia, Spain, Krakow, San Francisco, New Orleans, Vermont, Vienna, Austria, Utah, Oslo. All right, so we've got people from the USA and we've got people from Canada and Europe as well, and even Poland. Oh, Brazil, so there's South America, Netherlands. That's amazing. We've got people from all around the world. Guatemala, Sri Lanka. Wow, that's really amazing. That's so amazing. Okay, guys. So let me just welcome you again. We really appreciate the time that you're spending with us on this webinar, and I hope that you will find it really interesting because Michael has so much great content for you today. And we're going to see Michael in just a second, so let me just remind you that you can enter all of your questions during the webinar in the Q&A box at the top of your screen. All right, guys, so we're about to officially begin Michael's webinar, so let's meet our instructor for today. Hi, Michael.
Hi, how are you?
Hi, how are you? Yeah, I'm good. I'm great.
Can you hear me well? Does the microphone work very well?
Yes, it works well.
Thanks. Well, I'm so excited. People from all of the United States and Canada and then from South America and from Sri Lanka and
Sri Lanka, that's amazing.
Europe, fantastic. So thanks for coming today. Thanks for joining us. I'm really excited about this, and I'm really excited about today's content of today's webinar. So I can't wait to start.
We're all very excited. So let me just switch off my camera, and now it's over to you, Michael. So good luck, and I'll see you at the Q&A session.
All right, perfect. So before we start the webinar, again, let me say hi to everyone. I'm really happy that you're coming here today, and today's topic is very close to my heart because it's about communicating through tasks, and it's something that I'm really excited right now, and I think it's a new modern way of really getting things done together with people. So here on the screen you can see my team. This photo was taken a year ago, so it's not up to date anymore. There are more of us right now at Nosby, but I really like this photo there. The guy in the middle there's me here, and so again, I'm the CEO of Nosby. Nosby has been around for more than 9 years now. We've been helping people get things done, and now we have apps for not only web apps but apps for the Mac, for the Windows platform, for Android, tablets and smartphones, and also for iOS, iPhone, iPad, and the Apple Watch. I'm also the editor of the Proactive magazine. We have Proactive magazine in Polish, in English, in Dutch, so for our Dutch listeners here, and also in Spanish. And I'm also a blogger at sliwinski.com. This is my blog where I actually blog about productivity and about working remotely and getting things done in teams. And I'm also the author of It's All About Passion, which is a book that, my journey through passion, through how I learned different types of passion while developing Nozbe, developing my, the thing I'm really passionate about, productivity and Nozbe, my business. So, and it's a free ebook. You will get the link to this ebook at the end of the webinar. And I'm also the author of the 10 Steps to Ultimate Productivity course. And over this webinar, I'll also tell you more about it because we're actually going to relaunch over the summer the new version of the book. And I think you're going to love it. Let's start with the webinar. I'm going to just shut off my camera now so that you can actually just focus on the content. And let's start with that. So let's start with the fact that we all want superpowers. We all want to get more done. We want to be able to dominate the day and to actually stretch a little bit, the 24-hour problem that we have, that we have only 24 hours in a day, yet still so many things to do. And the thing is that you can't really stretch the day 24 hours, but what you can do is you can get help from other people, and this is the only way known to me that can help you extend your day. Because if you think about it, the most successful people we know on the web, on the internet, in the world that we hear about in the news, these people they're not alone. They don't work alone. And here in this webinar, this webinar is aimed at people who are just starting out, who are alone, working, just getting things done by themselves, are thinking about hiring somebody, are thinking about getting some help, but also to those who already are in teams, have teams, and want to just optimize the teams, help the teams get more done and work better. So like for all of us, I'm sure to have some piece of advice here. So to illustrate how much we want superpowers, how much we want to be Superman, let me start with my own story and with my own confession that when I started Nozbe, it was just me. I was just a one-man shop. And as you can see, Nozbe from 2007 to 2010, we were just 3 people. Like after a year of running Nozbe as my side project, I hired Tomasz, the guy in the black shirt, as my CTO, as my only programmer. And then after 2 years, I hired Delfina as my customer support representative. And so if you think about it, I've been running this thing for quite a while alone. And I think this was one of my mistakes. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm really happy what we've accomplished with Nozbe so far. But I think I was trying to be this Superman of running everything, the coding, the marketing, the customer support, everything. Just I thought I can do it all. And I should have asked for help earlier. So if you ask me, what I could have done better, this is it. I should have asked for help earlier to actually get more done. We shouldn't have stayed such a small team, and it doesn't mean you have to just hire lots of people and just have lots of costs in the beginning. No, it's just to ask for help, just to recognize that you are not the super person to do everything the best. I hired Tomasz because Tomasz is a better programmer than me. I hired Delfina because she's a better support person than me. I mean, I hire people because they're better than me. And you can see now, now our team is bigger, and these are not all the people that work at Nozbe, but this is the most recent photo that we have. And we keep on hiring, we keep on expanding our team. But if you think about it, just recently a famous composer, Piotr Rubik, talked to me, and he told me that he's using Nozbe to organize concerts. And just look at the concert. There is this guy, Piotr Rubik is the one in the middle. He's the composer, he's the conductor of the whole orchestra. But then he works with all these musicians, with all these technicians who are responsible for light, for acoustics, for audio, for everything. And he organizes everything like this in Nozbe through projects. And he doesn't, hire any one of these people. They are just all, freelance musicians, freelance people. And together as a group, they form this fantastic concert. And to learn more about it, at the end of the webinar, you'll have a link to a full video when Piotr explains how he works, how he gets things done in a team with Nozbe. So you will get it, at the end of the webinar, a link to a video with him. So, and this is one of the tweets I tweeted just today in the morning, that great artists like Piotr Rubik, who have to work with many people at once, use Nozbe to get it all done. Ban email. And why hashtag ban email? Because I think we should separate email as a way to contact other people, to contact for the initial contact, for the initial conversation, and use other tools like Nozbe to really manage the projects on a day-to-day basis. Many people start with email, but also stick with email to manage things. And in this webinar, you'll learn why email is not the best project management tool. But before we get to that, let's talk about SMART goals. So if you're thinking about working with somebody, or if you want to work with somebody, you want to hire some help. You recognize that you cannot do it all. You want to have somebody help you out. It's useful to remember the SMART goals, the SMART acronym. So if you want to ask somebody to help you out with somebody, be specific, as with S, and then measure it. Measure what you want to have. So that's why there's M, and then A stands for attainable, achievable. So make sure that it is achievable by this other person, and it's R, relevant for both of you, for this person and for you. And then it's timely. So you actually it's time bound. So you actually specify when you want to get this done. So this kind of this SMART acronym applies to our goals but as much also to goals with other people, with people who you want to get things done with. So to give you an example, I'm actually thinking right now about redesigning my blog, the blog I mentioned in the beginning, sliwinski.com. The thing with my blog is that I want to make it more about no office, about how we work. Because in Nozbe, we don't have a central office. We all work from our homes, and we communicate through tasks. We get things done remotely, and we just meet twice a year. This is why we take the beautiful photos. And the thing is that I want to redesign my blog to reflect my articles about no office, about this new modern way of working. So if I want to hire a designer, well, I need to be specific what I want. I want a blog redesign. And then, what I want to put new photos. I want to have a new style. I want it to be more mobile friendly. I have to really have a spec. So I have to really prepare it before I hire a designer. And then, I need to have a time frame, when I want to have it. And of course, I want to have it next month. I want to have it as soon as possible. And then, well, how much I'm going to spend or how much time I'm going to invest? Well, it depends. I'm going to talk to the designer about it once we have the specs there. But it's important that if I want to hire somebody, and if I want to hire a designer to actually help me with my blog, help me with redesigning my blog, what I need to do is I need to first email them, first send them, this initial contact, this initial spec, the initial, information, and then we schedule a chat or we meet or we contact. Because the thing is that many people, when they want to hire somebody to do a job, they say, let's meet and discuss this. I mean, it's fine, but you should first actually do the homework. You first have to prepare what you want to do, what you what you want from them, send it to them in advance, and then this meeting will actually be more fruitful because both of you will prepare for the meeting. Will have prepared for the meeting. You will both know more or less what to expect from this meeting. So it's really important that the first initial contact is the homework is done, you do it well, and then you chat. But email is fine. Email is okay. But actually, email later, when you just want to coordinate the project, it can be painful because the initial contact is done. I sent the email to the designer, but then if you want to stay in touch and keep doing the redesign blog thing, the emails can get stuck between other emails that we get. And especially if you're like me, you want to have inbox 0, you want to have clear inbox, then you start dealing with other emails and you give other emails the same priority that you give the same email from the designer. And this email from the designer should have more priority, should be more important to you. That's why I am a big proponent to actually ban email inside your company, inside your team, to just separate the way of you communicate with your team. You communicate with your team in a different way than with the rest of the world. So you use email for the initial contact, you use email for the initial things, but then when you work on a day-to-day basis, you don't do it via email. You do it through a system, like, for example, Nozbe in this example. So, and especially, when there's just two people involved, it can be easy via email. But if we get the third person involved and we don't, copy them on an email, or they don't know something, it's very quickly, the project stops being transparent, because it's all in these emails. And then to make sure that you know where you stand, you have to just reread some emails, search for the emails. It just gets complicated. And instead of just moving forward, you're stuck with all these emails and are just managing them. So to give you an example how this can be done in Nozbe, I want to give you a very simple one at the very beginning. So let's go back. If you've been to my past webinar last month, I talked about my vacation with my wife, that we prepared a very nice vacation in Rome, in Italy, and then later we enjoyed it a lot. But we spent a lot of time preparing for it. But then once we had it prepared, we spent a great time, enjoyed ourselves, and we were spontaneous then because we had everything organized. So let's assume we want to organize vacation in Rome with my wife. So let's do it via Nozbe. If you think about it, in Nozbe Pro, if you sign up for Nozbe Pro, if you have a Nozbe Pro account, or you sign up for a trial of Nozbe Pro, actually you get a second person for free. So your account is Nozbe Pro, and then the other person is included. So what you can do is you just go to Team section and add your first person, and they're free. So you just add them there and put their email address. They get an invitation, and they become part of your team. And this way you have a first person. You can use it for a business partner, your wife, your spouse, your significant other, your husband, whoever you want. But it's really cool that already here we try to tell you that you're not alone, that you should be asking, you should be creating a team of two to just work together and share things. So, okay, my wife is in the team. So what you do? First, let's create a project. So I create a project here, vacation in Rome. And I put some tasks: book flight tickets, trip to Pompeii, things to see in Rome, and meals to try out, pasta, pizza, things like that, right? So this is the first part. I created a project. Then what I do is I go to the info panel. So I go to the right-hand top corner when there's and the info panel of the project shows up, and I go to invite people. And I go, and my wife is there. She's in my team. I choose my wife, and I invite her over. And what happens is that suddenly we share things together. And as you can see, all the tasks, the tick boxes next to the tasks have changed from blank to question marks. Question marks, it means these tasks need to be delegated. People need to take responsibility for these tasks. So, for example, meals to try out, I want to delegate this task to my wife, because she knows more about food and cooking than me. So she has strong opinions about what she likes and what she doesn't like. So I decided, just to delegate this to her. So what I do is just I open the task, and then I click on the Who's Responsible button, and I go to Evelina, my wife, and just put it there. And then my wife it becomes responsible for this task. So as you can see in the project, suddenly, for example, the first task has a nice checkbox, book flight tickets, because as you can see, it's responsible. I'm responsible for this task. Responsibility is you. It says you, so it's me. Then trip to Pompeii, things to see in Rome, not yet defined who's responsible for that. And then meals to try out, my wife, there is an icon of my wife there. She's responsible for that. So just with that, you can see the power of this. We have just 4 tasks, but at one glance, we know how many tasks we have, what needs to be done, who's responsible for what, which tasks already have responsibility, which don't. So it's really easy. It's a very nice overview. The tick changes depending on responsibility. It's really, really easy to get the hang of it, to know what you can do, how you can, how is the project going. And then when we start doing the project, like, for example, we start adding comments because, for example, my wife has some ideas about the meals to try out, right? So she adds a comment to the task. And I'm busy working Nozbe and other projects and everything, but there is this very cool section in Nozbe. It's called comments. And as you can see on the right side, it's called comments. I have here 73 comments still to read. And one of the comments is here in the project Vacation in Rome, means to try out. And then I click on this task, and I can see the new comment just posted by my wife. And also, this comment is already it's already framed in like a nice yellow frame, which means it's a new comment that I haven't read yet. So because as we keep on working on things, there might be more comments in one task, but because her comment is in this yellow frame, I know this is the comment I haven't read yet. So my wife here says that tortellini is always a great try, and then she asks me for preference for pizza. So I can actually write a comment here and explain why I like capricciosa, more than anything else. But I can write it here in this comment section. And the cool thing is that once you delegate tasks to someone, so you choose a responsibility, what happens is that this task becomes their priority. As you can see, my wife delegated book flight tickets to me. And she actually added a comment here, please do it today through New York City. And here it is in my priority section and in priority tasks. So there is no way for me to actually miss it. I got it in my priority tasks. And moreover, the moment that she delegates the task to me, then I get a push notification. If I have an iPhone, if I have Nozbe installed on an iPhone or Apple Watch or iPad or Android phone or tablet, or on the Mac, I get a push notification saying your wife delegated this task to you, book flight tickets to you. And then I know, okay, so somebody wants something from me. All right, my wife wants me to do something. And so it's really, really useful. You get the push notification. So it's like we start doing this task ping pong. I mean, she sends the task to me, I can reply, I can add a comment, she sees the comments, and then if I feel like it, I can just reply back and send her back the comment. And people have been asking us, I mean, if there is other way to communicate even more, and there is. So here, let's say she wants me to book the flight tickets, but I want to just reply and ask her some more questions while still having this task delegated to me. So what I do, I can actually use @mention, just like on Twitter. So I write here, okay, @Evelina, I'll do this tonight. There's a better connection through Chicago. What do you think? So in this moment, when I write this task, @Evelina, and I post this comment, she gets a push notification. She gets a notification on her mobile phone or on her tablet saying, Michael mentioned you in a comment to a task, and then there's a task. So this way, actually, we can really communicate even more. She knows that there is a task that I actually need an opinion from her. So she can go to this task right away, write her comment back, and then I know what to do. I know which flight to order. So this is really a nifty thing. We haven't advertised this enough, and in the future versions of Nozbe will help you with the add thing to fill it out. But it's a very, very useful idea. We use it all the time in our company. I get @Michael very often, especially from Natalia, my assistant, who's the panelist of this webinar. This way, I know that people want something from me. I want that people want some input from me in several tasks. But having all that, we have projects, we have tasks, we have this overview of projects, we have this idea to communicate through comments, and we have the new comment section. But there's even more. I mean, like applications like Nozbe give us even more flexibility. So, for example, if getting things done, the concept of contexts, and in Nozbe there are categories, so you can categorize things like computer, home, these kind of things, like places and tools, things like that. But you can also use categories in a more let's say it's in a more interesting way. So for example, and again, Natalia, my assistant, we share a project called CEO. This is where she delegates tasks to me where she needs my input, and sometimes I'm not paying so much attention because I'm busy with something else. So what she does then, instead of calling me and shouting at me or something, what she does is she does something like this. She adds a category called urgent to these tasks that she really wants me to do. So and because the categories work across projects and across people, I mean they are shared automatically. So I get the category as well. So this way, for example, as you can see here on the screen, I have 2 tasks from the CEO project from Natalia with category urgent. And then actually my wife in the vacation in Rome also used the same category because she thinks it's really urgent for me to buy the tickets tonight. So she used the category urgent. So what I do in the morning, in the morning I review my priority list. And as you can see here, 51 tasks, lots of tasks to do. Where to start? So what I do is I go again to the info section in the priority list, and then I choose filter, and I filter my tasks with the category urgent. And what happens is that suddenly you see I have only 3 tasks to do. Out of the 51, I have only 3 tasks which are urgent. So I go through them, I get them done, then I deactivate the category, the filter, and I continue with other priority tasks. You see, the shared categories help us communicate it even more. They help us really have a second level of communication. As I mentioned, no shouting, nothing like this. Just a category which actually describes what is needed. It adds this additional level of communication. So you can see that we share project, we put tasks, but then we have the comments, we have new comments section, we have categories. So we have so many levels to actually communicate with this task to really help us find a way to get things done, the best. How to do it the best. So just like also today in the morning, I composed a tweet that the only way to stretch the 24-hour day is to start GTD with others, to start getting things done with others through a modern productivity system like Nozbe. And this way you ban email. You don't use email, but you use Nozbe to communicate. So if you feel like it, feel free to reshare it, to share the tweet, much and post it in the chat. After we've seen the basics of project management in Nozbe and shared projects in Nozbe, let's get back to the example of me working with a designer. So we said that I sent him an email about my blog redesign and how to, from that email, how to start a good, efficient communication. So there is a project I created. It's called redesignsliwinski.com, so redesign my blog. And you can see that I already added some tasks, and I invite my designer here. So the first one is why we should do it, and I delegated this task to him because I added a comment there, why we should do it, give him some reasons for the redesign so that he has an idea why we need that. Then there's a task called new photos, and it's delegated to me because I need to send him new photos because I just did a new photo shoot for the website, for the blog. So I actually have a task for this. And actually, as you can see, this new photos task is already with a star marked in my priority list. And then there are other tasks, new logo, social media, new color theme, better responsive design. These tasks don't have anyone responsible yet. But as you can see, again, from this view, you know exactly how the project is going. How many tasks we have, who's responsible for what. And it's very transparent and very nice. But there's actually more to that. So apart from comments, we can use this project actually to send also files. As you can see, new photos. I need to send new photos to my designer. So what I can do several things. The easiest way, I can just post here photos directly. I can just drag and drop them here on this comment section, and they will upload automatically to Nozbe. And in Nozbe, what we do is we are crazy about security and about the data safety. There is a blog post we recently wrote about it. And one of the things is that when you upload a file or a document to Nozbe, to a comment, it gets encrypted automatically and sent to Amazon Cloud encrypted. And the encryption keys are on a different server. This way, even if Amazon people would access the files, which I doubt, but let's say in the worst case scenario, the files are encrypted, so they're gibberish. They're just nobody can read them. This way, your attachments, your photos, your documents, your confidential documents, they're all safe and sound. I mean, we have in Nozbe, we have customers, we have law firms, we have companies which are on the stock exchange, we have governments using Nozbe. So we have really very important entities using Nozbe, and they trust us because they know that we care about the safety and we care about data protection. So they know that they can confidently upload their files here, and they know that only they can access them we can't access them, and then the guys from Amazon or whoever our provider is also can't. This is how we built it like this. But because we think people should have as much flexibility as they can, we have here more ways to attach files to a comment. If you like an Evernote, you have an Evernote note ready because you wrote it in your time. You can attach an Evernote note directly to here, and then other people can read it. If you have a Dropbox file, you can also attach it here, a Box file. And also integration with OneNote and OneDrive are coming in the future versions of Nozbe. So all these things are coming very soon. And so this way, and you can also add a checklist. So you can. There are many ways how you can actually upload information to task. And the best part is that, when you have it like that, when you have all the information within the task, you know exactly where you stand. Again, you see all the comments, you see all the information, all the versions of the document. I got a story from a customer who's using Nozbe like this, that they work on a document here within Nozbe. They upload, for example, a Word document directly to Nozbe, and then delegate the task to the other person. The other person downloads the document, works on it, and uploads it again. And then by uploading it again, they see all the versions. They have all the versions of the same document in one task. And as you know, in Nozbe, you have unlimited space. So you can actually, keep on uploading all these documents and keep them in Nozbe. So that way you have the whole history, the repository of your documents, of the information happening there. So it's really, really convenient. And again, in this one central space, you share a project, you share all these tasks, and the relevant information to the tasks is already in the comment section. So it's really, really convenient and transparent, and everybody knows what's up. You don't have to read emails, you don't have to search for emails, you don't have to scan them. Everything is here, and you know where you're at. But then, some people have been asking me, but Michael, some people I want to work with, they don't want to get Nozbe, they don't want to download another app. They're just not convinced yet. What should I do with them? So you can still invite them to a project. You can just, go to the info panel, invite them, put their email address, and they will get an email like this here, and with a click to access this project. And what happens is when they access the project, they can actually see it like this in a web view. They can only see this one project. They cannot do anything else because they don't have really a Nozbe account. They can sign up for one if they want from here, no problem. But they can actually work on the project right here in the web interface. And it's actually, and this web interface is actually responsive, so they can also use it on their Android phone or their iPhone. And actually, this is how I started working on remodeling of my house with my designer, interior designer. He asked me how we should, work together, and of course, I chose Nozbe, and I created a project for them. And I sent him an invitation, and he joined, and he was just working through a web browser on this project with me. And then after a while, after working with me for a while, he noticed that it's really convenient and really cool. And he signed up for a Nozbe account. And now he's using Nozbe as well. And he actually uses Nozbe with his other customers as well by sharing projects with them of their remodeling of their houses. So from here, he understood that it's really transparent, really easy to see what's going on in the project and how to follow a project correctly. And to give you a great testimony how people can grow their business with Nozbe like this, I want to turn to my friend and mentor, Michael Hyatt. I hope you've heard of him. Michael Hyatt is an amazing guy. He's a best-selling author, a fantastic blogger, and a very, very good person. We met in person. We chat. We have really a good rapport. And he's also a Nozbe user. And right now, he has this empire. He has this blog, these courses. He's really a successful person. But when he started off as a blogger, I mean, he was the CEO of a big publishing company, Thomas Nelson's Publishers. So he was used to having people work with him. But then, he decided to retire from his position and continue working as a blogger and just become a full-time blogger. And in the beginning, he was lost because he had to do everything alone. But unlike me, he very quickly realized he needs help. So what he did is he first hired a virtual assistant, for 5 hours a week, I think. And then he hired somebody else to do his website redesign. He hired somebody else for some video. So he started hiring people using, all these websites, all these ways to hire people just for an hour, for 2 hours, for something like that. And very quickly, he grew his empire. Now he has, I think, 15 or 16 people working him full time for him. But he didn't start like that. So he recognized really that he's not alone. If he wants to achieve more, he should hire help. He should ask for help. And he did it with Nozbe, with sharing projects with other people. And now he's a very successful person. So really, Michael Hyatt is a great example of how you can grow from a one-man shop, from a one-man blogger to a blogging empire, course empire, like he did. So really inspiring example, Michael Hyatt. So now, to give you more examples and to inspire you more how to get things done together, how to share projects together, I want to unveil the curtain and show you some of the projects that I have in Nozbe, actually, and some of the projects that we have in our team. So there you go. These are a few projects. Here on the left side, you can see 10 steps launch plan, 10 steps ebook and audiobook, CEO, Nozbe feedback, Redesign Sliwinski.com, the firm, and vacation in Rome. Here are some of the projects, and I want to talk about them a little bit more detail to give you some examples. So first of all, if you have followed me and follow my course on 10 steps to automate productivity, you know that I recognize two types of projects. One project is the one that it's clearly defined. It starts at some point and it ends at some point. It has a start and an end, and thank you very much. So it just this is one project. But then there is a project that it just keeps going, that it actually never ends. So the project that just it's like a list of tasks that keeps growing and then keeps growing back. But it's a list of tasks that keeps it's alive all the time. So indefinite project. So here you can see a definite project. For example, 10 steps launch plan. So this is our project that we have to launch our new book, 10 Steps to Automate Productivity. And this one, it's a definite project. It's going to start at some point. It's going to end at some point. Right now, we're preparing the whole launch plan. And then there's the other one, 10 steps, ebook and audiobook. So actually, this is the project where we prepared the content of the book and audiobook, where we talk about the content, where we share the content, and where we work the content, and think about distribution and all these things. And then there's the project CEO. This is the project actually that I mentioned before, the project that I share with my assistant, with Natalia. And in this project, this one will never end because we keep sharing tasks. We keep, she keeps doing the assistant stuff, and I need to help her with that. So this project will keep going, and it's just for me and her. But then there is another project that we have, Nozbe feedback. And for example, this project, Nozbe feedback, we have it for the entire team. So everyone on Nozbe is invited to this project. So whenever they use Nozbe, because everyone on my team uses Nozbe, of course, and whenever we find something that we don't like, a glitch, maybe a bug, maybe something didn't happen the way it should, or we don't like a copy of something, we don't like something, we can post it there on Nozbe feedback and delegate the task to our VP of product, Rafael. And then he, asks more questions in the comment section. He dives deeper, and then he decides if this is really an issue that we should deal with, or if it's fine, or he decides what to do with that. But here, like Nozbe feedback is our project where we can complain, and thanks to the fact that we complain it as a task and delegate it to Rafael, he can actually deal with that, and he can decide what to do, and then he can move the task from here to a project, a development project somewhere in Nozbe. And then there's the project Redesign Sliwinski.com that we discussed before. Again, Redesign Sliwinski.com, it's got a start and an end. At some point, it will be redesigned, it will be done, we'll close the project, we'll complete it. But then we have a project called The Firm. And The Firm is another project where the whole company is invited. Everybody's there. We call it The Firm based on this fantastic book by Grisham. We don't want to be the firm like that, but we just liked it. We just liked the book and the movie with Tom Cruise. So anyway, we have a project called The Firm, and The Firm is actually our bulletin board. It's like our board where we post things. So for example, if Natalia wants to go on holidays, she posts tasks. She posts a task there. Michael, I want to go on holidays, and this time, is it okay? And then I respond in the comment, okay, it's fine, or no, please don't go, I need you there, or something like that. This way, the rest of the team also knows that somebody wants to go on vacation. We are transparent with the rest of the team, and it's a place where we can share this kind of information. But also, what I do very often there is I I post like a thing I need input from the rest of the team. So for example, I post some summary of something. I post some plans that we have for the future. And I post it as a task, and I add a comment there. Sometimes I even record a video that I post, a private video on YouTube, and I post it there. And as you know, in Nozbe, when you just paste a link to YouTube, it embeds very nicely the video, so you can watch it right there. This way, I can ask for feedback from the entire team. And actually, there's a trick that I use there, is that what happens is that I post this task, this announcement, as a task, and I delegate it to anyone. So instead of me, I delegate it to anyone, so no one. And then I post a date, like for example, on Friday. So on Friday, because this task is delegated to anyone, so to everyone in the project, it will become a priority task for everyone. This way, I know that on Friday, everyone will get it in the priority list, so they will at least look at it. And then they can just unstar it, remove the star, and it goes away from their priority list. But it's a way to communicate again through tasks, to communicate something strong. And the best part is that, of course, I have the comments section there, so I can get really feedback on this particular issue right there. Because we also use Slack to communicate, which we'll talk about later. But in Slack, we just talk a lot, and in Slack, the communication goes so fast, so the information goes really out of the way. And here, I really need comments to the particular task. That's why I put it in Nozbe in this common project. And here, if you look at it, you can see that I chose a few projects for you. And above the project list, it says projects with label webinar. What I did here is that because I wanted to show you these projects, and I have many projects, I have more than 100 projects, and I want to show you all of them. I want to show you just these. All of these projects, I added a label webinar to them. Labels is a great way to actually manage projects, to group the projects together. And because it's not a tree, so it's not like there's projects, sub-projects, and sub-projects. There's labels. Labels group projects together. One project can have several labels. So, for example, Nozbe feedback project can have a label called Nozbe, and then can also have a label webinar, which I just used for this webinar. If you look at it, I have several labels here. Marketing, so I can group all the marketing projects. One Nozbe are all projects devoted to developing our Nozbe, our one Nozbe. And private projects, all of the private projects, like for example, the vacation project has the label private. And productive are projects related to Productive Magazine. Translations are projects grouped related to translations. We have 10 languages that we support in Nozbe. So our Dutch customers can have the Nozbe in Dutch, and we also have a support person on Nozbe who speaks Dutch and can respond to them. And we have other languages: Japanese, Chinese, French, German, Spanish. So we support them. So I have all translations projects grouped with this label. Then I have this webinar label, which I just created, and more. So with labels, you can group projects together. And some of the customers told me that, for example, what they do is they create projects for a customer, and then they create a label for this customer. So for example, they would then group all these projects for this customer under this one label. So if they want to work, for this customer, they just choose this label, and they just see all the projects from this customer with this label. Other people have said that, other companies have said that what they do is they create projects, one project per one customer. So it's all up to you. You have to figure this out yourself, but there are many ways to actually create projects and create labels and to organize it. Thanks to this fact that Nozbe is so flexible with labels, with projects, with tasks, with checklists in the tasks, with comments in the tasks, it's very easy to just start experimenting and see how you can get organized, how you can put all this to work together. And here's another example of how we actually use Nozbe and use categories. Right now we are almost finished with version 3.2 of Nozbe. So it's coming to you very, very soon. I think the release candidate will be like next week or something. So it's really, really soon, 3.2. So what we do is we use Sprint 3.2 as a category. And this way we group all the tasks from all the projects that we work on that are relevant to this version of Nozbe. So we group this with this category. As you can see here, there is a project called Dev, there's a project called Nozbe Feedback, there's a project called What Nozbe. So from all these projects, there are tasks marked with this category. So we use category, again, in a flexible way to just, like stamp this new version of Nozbe. And as you can already see, there are, at the bottom of the list, there is Sprint 3.3 candidates. So there are 3.3 candidates are the tasks that we think are going to be in version 3.3 in Nozbe, which will be a great version, by the way, because it will have Slack integration and everything. We'll get to it very soon. So as you can see, I'm a big proponent into creating tasks for the team. So separating team communication, team management, and communication with the entire world. So you use Nozbe to communicate with your team, and email to communicate with the rest of the world, and to initiate communication. But when you manage projects, you go to Nozbe, because this is where you want to be, because there you can see everything transparently. You see everything in one place. You know where you're at. You know how your projects are doing. In Nozbe, we have this saying, create a task for me. So instead of, don't email me, create a task for me. So create a task that I can really get this done. And even Natalia, for example, when she checks my email and there is an email that really needs my attention, so what she does is forwards the email to me, and every Nozbe user, when you go to settings, every Nozbe user has a unique email address. So it's a nickname.pin@nozbe.me. So you can, I encourage you to add this email address to your contacts, so you can actually forward an email to Nozbe. And if you forward the email and change the subject line to add, to use hashtags to actually have project name and even the person responsible, this task goes to the project and actually changes the responsibility of the task to this person. So, for example, here, if Natalia would go and put task here, hashtag CEO, hashtag Michael, this task would go to our CEO project and would be delegated to me directly. She wouldn't have to do anything in Nozbe. It would just be automatically done by Nozbe and handled by Nozbe. And the last important thing is that if you have all your projects and all your information shared with your team in Nozbe, you have access to it from any device. Because even if you're on the go on a smartphone, if you're on a business trip, you can just pull up the iPad or pull up a tablet and just go to Nozbe and see what's happening in the projects. You can see what's happening in the tasks. We have a customer, a business customer, who is working and traveling a lot, and he said that he's using an iPad all the time, and thanks to the fact that when he's on the plane, he'd actually pull out the iPad before flying out to synchronize the data, and then on the plane he can check the data, and even if he has some internet connection on the plane, it's very flaky. But thanks to the fact that Nozbe is syncing in the background, he just gets things done. He moves things around, so he really uses the time on the plane to actually manage projects, manage tasks in Nozbe, to work in Nozbe, which he finds really, really useful. So again, it's a tweet that I composed a few hours back, that modern productivity system, it means projects, tasks, and devices are in sync. And this means the team is in sync. And this is why we should ban email. We should focus on getting things done in Nozbe and sharing tasks and sharing projects and delegating tasks. And in Nozbe right now, we are dedicated to this. We have improved our Nozbe Pro offering, as I mentioned earlier, that you can have a second person in Nozbe for free, and then you can add an additional one for a very nominal cost. But if you want to have your company running Nozbe, I encourage you to check our latest offering, which is a business offering, a business account. It starts with 10 people included. And then the good thing about it is that we have a dedicated person then to your account. We can help you set it up. We can really advise you how to set it up in your company. You have better customer support in this way that we really want to cater to your needs. And additionally, we have some other additional features like more administrators of projects, inside projects, and also additional reports. Because right now we're preparing additional reports. You already have, every Monday you receive a report of how your team is doing, how you're doing, if you use Nozbe Pro or Nozbe Business. But there are additional reports coming to Nozbe Business customers very soon that you will be able to really see who's doing what. Again, more transparency, more information, who's doing what, who's getting things done, who's not. You'll just be able to just see more of what's happening in your company. So really, if you're thinking about running Nozbe inside your company, I really encourage you to get the Nozbe business account and give it a try. You can have a trial there. We can really help you out there to just to use it to your advantage. And we've had after we've launched it in February on our 9th anniversary, and we've had many businesses start using Nozbe for Business, and they really like it, and they really enjoy managing their entire business in Nozbe because they see that they need this transparency, these shared projects, and getting things done together, and they see the benefit of it, of having everything in one place. So after that, I want to just wrap up because we're finishing out right now, but I want to just wrap up with some additional theory for you to enjoy, something I really truly believe in, and it's been like after talking to many customers, and I talk on every Friday I talk to a few customers. And I write right now on my blog a lot about no office. What happens is that I figured out that there's a shift coming because we are so we live in this world where so many distractions. There's a shift coming that we are changing the way we work in the way that we need more alone time. We need more time for deep work. We need more time to actually, as I mentioned in the beginning, to do the homework and then later that others can help us out. If we don't do the homework, they will not know what to do with us. So here is a pyramid of communication that I wrote a blog post about it, is that in the basis of your communication, the basis should be asynchronous, should be done in your time. So the basis should be in Nozbe, and also GitHub, because we use GitHub because we code. So we have a software product. Also email, if you email other people, but mainly Nozbe. So the idea is that first you use tools which are asynchronous, which help you do something first and then delegate and then move it further. And then there is second level. These are channels in Slack, for example, or comments in tasks where you communicate more, when you're more in sync. But still, if you add a comment, you don't wait for it. You do something else. The comment comes back. People delegate. You get a push notification. So this is more in sync. Then we have direct messages. And direct messages are already more in sync because when you send direct message to somebody, you expect an almost instant reply. It's not instant, but it's almost instant. So it's more in sync. And then there's audio calls. So when you want to really talk to somebody and meet with somebody, and then there are video calls and face-to-face meetings. So as you can see from the pyramid, the basis of your work should be asynchronous, should be done in your time without distracting anyone. And very often in current offices, because we have the luxury, we can just go over to somebody and just ask him a question, which is fine until it's not. When you think about it, you are disrupting them. They're there working on something right now. So maybe you should first, schedule a moment with them to talk. So send them asynchronous information, like delegate tasks to them, and then they will get back to you and they'll tell you, "Come on over, we'll talk about it," or not. So really focus on asynchronous work. And this is how we work. This is my screen of my iMac. You can see I use Slack and Nozbe. And the curious thing about it is that we use Slack as a chat, as a company chat. We have also a channel called The Firm, and we have a project called The Firm. And the difference is that on the Slack channel of The Firm, we just talk about things. We discuss things, we discuss ideas. But the moment something becomes actionable, the moment we want to remember something and we want to get it done, we move it to Nozbe. We create a task from it, and we delegate it to somebody. So we want to make sure that we chat freely in Slack, but then actionable items go to Nozbe. And you'll be happy to hear that integration of Nozbe and Slack is coming very, very soon. It's coming actually in one of the future versions of Nozbe. So this summer, you should have this integration, and it should be really, really great. We've just discussed it. We are starting implementing it. It looks really, really promising. So this way, you'll be able to actually move your tasks to Slack and move Slack messages to Nozbe as tasks very easily. And then we have direct messages, as I mentioned. So for example, in Slack, we also use direct messages. Here is me talking with the CTO. And then there are audio meetings in Skype. And of course, we use Zoom for video meetings. Here's Marcin. I'm talking to him here in Zoom. We use Zoom because it's really reliable. It's not only good for webinars like this one, but it's also good for team communication. So with all that, here's my favorite quote. Work is not a place to go. It's a thing that you do. And I think with Nozbe, with sharing projects, with delegating tasks, you can get the work done wherever you want, however you want, in office, without an office, when you're on the move, you can really, because you see everything, you have all the information there and at the palm of your hand, you can get things done, you can decide, you can move things forward. So if you like the tweet, I encourage you to tweet it. Martin will send you the tweet. Work is not a place to go, it's a thing that you do. No office, ban email. Okay, so we're wrapping up. We're getting to the 1 hour mark, and let's see what we learned today. So first of all, you learned that you're not alone, and then you should start getting things done with others. If you haven't done it yet, please do. Really, in this, like, we are more connected than in any time in our history right now, thanks to the internet, thanks to all the communications, thanks to social media. So you're not alone. Start getting things done with others. And then we learned also that email is really not a good project management tool. It's a good project initiation tool when you can initiate a conversation, but it's not a good project management tool. And you also learned how to add a partner or somebody else to Nozbe Pro for free, because you can do that. You don't have to just use Nozbe on your own. You can, but it's really more fun if you add them. You create an account for them. But what's really important there is that your private projects remain yours. They will not see your private projects unless you invite them to them. So until you invite somebody, they don't see your private stuff. They can only see it once you start sharing projects with them. So only shared projects are visible to them. Everything which is private is yours. And then what we've learned is here how to share a project with somebody and how to delegate tasks with this example of working with designer, of planning vacations, and then how delegated tasks become priorities. And now you know that when you delegate tasks, it becomes a priority for this other person. They get a push notification. So really, you start communicating really through tasks. It's a new level of communication based on action, based on movement, which is really good. And then how you can track conversations in comments. So that you've discovered that there is a comment section in Nozbe. The moment you start commenting on tasks, you start seeing new comments coming in. You can see them in the comment section, which is really great because then you can follow really what's happening in the team. There are many projects in my company where I don't really participate. I don't really add tasks there. I don't get any tasks there, but I just follow them, and I get to follow the conversations there in the comment section. And then you learned how to share categories and to get even more done. So you learned about the urgent category, for example, or how we use categories as like version numbers of Nozbe. So how to actually share categories together and use them to advantage, to use them to actually get things done even better. And then you also learned how Michael Hyatt and others successfully use Nozbe, how Piotr Rubik does it with his orchestra, and how Michael Hyatt grew his empire from one-man blogger to a real course and blogging powerhouse and publishing powerhouse. And you also learned how a proactive pyramid of communication works, that the basis of your work should be asynchronous, and then later, as you move to more synchronous work, you should do it less of it. You should do more deep work, more asynchronous work. And finally, you also learned how Nozbe Business can help your company get even more done. That when you want to try it out, I really encourage you to do that. All right, so I was talking a lot about homeworks. So your homework for today is to, 1, invite someone to Nozbe or share a project with them, maybe vacations, maybe something else. And then really delegate your first task. Create a first task for them, delegate it to them, and see how this works. You'll love it. And then you will see that you will achieve more together. So really try it out, see for yourself. It's lots of fun and works very well. And because you stayed so long here with me, 1 hour in, I'm really happy that you're here. So I want to just reward you with a bonus. So if you go to nozbe.com/webinar bonus, there are lots of bonuses that we just got ready for you. So first of all, we have special templates with lots of information for our upcoming book, 10 Steps to Ultimate Productivity. We haven't published them anywhere. They're just for you to use. So go to each of them, and there are so many great articles, videos, and additional information that you can learn more about the stuff that we just talked today. So if you want to dive deeper, want to learn more, it's all there. Then second, you have the copy of my book. It's all about passion. More than 10,000 people have read it, and they have loved it. So if you like it, I encourage you to read it. And there's additional bonus, which is time limited. You get, if you decide Nozbe is for you, or you want to give Nozbe a try, and you have 30-day money back guarantee anyway, so you have nothing really to lose. There's a special offer. We don't offer this a lot, but now for the next hour only, so very, very short period of time, you can get 3 months free if you order Nozbe for a year, which means actually you pay for 10 months, because when you order Nozbe for a year, you get already 2 months discount. So you pay actually for 10 months and you get 5 months extra. So it's a really great deal. We haven't, we really use it very rarely, this deal. But now, because you're here, because you've been with us for the whole hour, and you've enjoyed the seminar, go to the website nozbe.com/webinar bonus and just push on the button, and you can order your Nozbe, with additional months. Only for an hour right now, so something that that we would like to have you to as a thank you for being here with us. So now comes my favorite part, questions. So I'm ready, Natalia. Let's start getting some questions.
Hi, Michael. Thank you so much for this webinar. It was awesome, and you shared some great examples, so I'm sure that everyone feels inspired now. And before we move on to the Q&A session, let me just address one question. We are recording this webinar, and we will be emailing you the link to the recording within the next couple of days, so don't worry if you can't make it until the very end. We're going to email you the link in a matter of 2 days. And now let's move on to the Q&A session. We've got a lot of questions coming in, so we're going to try and answer as many of them as we can. So the first question is from Holly. Is there a way to delegate tasks to more than one person?
No. This is the short answer. The longer answer, no, not yet, because we are addressing this issue because sometimes there is a task when you need more people to help you with that. So, for example, you have a task for one person, but then in the comment section, you start commenting and you see that there are more people need to be involved there. What you can do there is actually create additional tasks for the other person. So you can actually create a task from a comment and delegate it to somebody. But why we did that for now, and we're still thinking about it, is because we don't want people to. We think if one person is responsible, they will get it done. But if there are two or more people responsible, then the responsibility gets it gets shady. You don't know who's. I didn't do that. I mean, he's responsible. I mean, he should do it. I mean, he was I think with tasks and with the information, we should be pretty clear. I want you to have it. I want you to do it. And this way, I know you'll do it, and you say you'll do it. And if you start, doing that, I think it can be very difficult. So I prefer actually, and we've had these situations in our company, that we actually create some more tasks and then delegate these additional, things to other people, just to make sure that everybody's on the same page, what they should be doing.
And now it's very easy because you can clone a task. So you can make, within a few clicks, you can just make the same identical task and just delegate it to a different person.
Yeah, when you open the task, and then below, in the task panel, you have 3 dots. When you click there on these 3 dots, you have all the options, and you can clone a task. And again, if you have a comment, you can also, there are 3 dots there. You can create a task from this comment. So there are lots of ways right now in Nozbe to actually, multiply a task and basically then delegate to somebody else to make sure that you get all the help you need.
Exactly. Okay, thank you. So another question. What would you recommend for working through a project management tool like Nozbe in an office that depends badly on email? What would be the best way to implement Nozbe in such a company?
Detox. So basically, I'm sorry, but it's hard. I know. I mean, I've been talking to customers about it. It's hard because once you get this feeling of emails, some emails back and forth, especially with the BlackBerries, for example, it was like an addiction. You would just send emails, copy, and actually not to search far away. I see that, for example, in my wife's company, they depend heavily on email. and I'm always teasing her about it because I see how inefficient it is. That she would say, "Oh no, I wasn't copied on that email," or no, or maybe they don't want me there, and this kind of information. So I would say try doing just one thing, just one, like there is a new project, for example, coming. Just get a few people on this project and do it in Nozbe, and tell them, on this particular project, we don't send emails. We keep sending emails, we can do other things, but on this project, we don't. On this project, just put everything in Nozbe. Nowhere else. This works. I have had customers tell me this. That the small steps. When you start doing this one project and you see how different it is, that it's not like Sliwinski told you this. Sliwinski told you it's going to be better. No, you try it for yourself. You will see that you get the communication better. You know exactly where you stand. You have all the comments, everything in one place, and you realize, this is actually better. And then when you start that, you can get other people, because the problem with companies is, of course, you have to get the buy-in from somebody else, and they might tell you, no, I don't want to do it. I want to stick to what I know, right? But try it. Try it with one project, and the rest keep doing what you're doing. And I think with that, you can really see the difference, and then the others can also see the difference, and then they can start doing more with Nozbe, sharing more tasks, maybe doing their own private projects within Nozbe, and then seeing also the power of that, and this way you will learn this more way. I would start with the baby steps, really.
Exactly. So just small steps, because we all know that it's really hard to just change a system or change something rapidly and just like jump from one thing to another. So small steps are key.
I just want to add that, and really, for this particular project, really ban email for this project. I mean, tell them no email for this. And if somebody sends you an email, you just forward the email to Nozbe, to this project, just like I told you in the webinar. In this way, you just make sure that you're consistent. That this way, no email here, like really detox here. And this is what we did in our company. That I said from one day to another, I said, no more email to me. Just create a task for me. And when I said that, it was hard. The first month was hard, but then we just got used to it, and now we love it.
And now everyone uses it, and nobody sends email anymore.
Exactly.
Okay, so now a question from Ian. What is the best way to review and archive the week's actions? Nozbe doesn't seem to have a way to review all the specific tasks that have been completed across all of the categories for each day, and easily retrieve completed tasks.
Yeah, so we are actually addressing this issue. So in the future versions of Nozbe, we will add, as I mentioned, in the business accounts, for example, reports. So we can actually have a report of all the completed tasks that you've done. In the past, there will be some reports in the pro version, but also additional reports in the business version. So we can actually be able to retrieve them and, for example, hand you to your boss. Okay, this is what I did. And so this is coming, and also this something that we recognize as a problem right now with Nozbe is the search in the completed tasks. So this is also coming very soon. So you will be able to search for things. So this way, I mean, because right now, just everything you do in Nozbe, when it's completed task, completed project, it stays in Nozbe forever until you delete it. So this way, you can really make Nozbe your knowledge base. You can, when you have a new customer and this customer actually requires the same tasks that the other customer did, you can get back to the other customer and create a template from this old project and use the template. So you have all the information there. What we right now have some issues there is like this. They do the search in the completed tasks and the completed projects, but this is coming because we have all this data. We just have to create the UI for the search and just make it great and make it fast. But this is coming. So so all these things will be more retrievable in the future. But so for now, you just have to manually go to a project, go to complete it, and you can still see it and print it and everything. But like more ways of retrieving completed things are coming. This way, you will be able to do a better weekly review, like all these things.
Yes. So thank you for your patience, and we're working on it. And another question is, tasks which are not delegated to someone else, are they visible for others?
I mean, if they are in a shared project, then they are. I mean, right? I mean, this if a task. I mean, the thing is, in Nozbe, if somebody is invited to a project, they see everything what's happening in the project. What we have, and what I haven't addressed in the webinar actually, which is a more advanced thing, is that we have several degrees of sharing. So you can have an admin of a project, like a normal user of a project. So everybody who's invited is a user of a project. You have a guest. And the guest is it's a person that can see the tasks, but cannot change them. What they can do only is comment on tasks and do tasks that have been explicitly delegated to them. So for example, you have a project that you work with your customer, and you don't want your customer to actually mess around with your stuff. So you invite the customer as a guest to the project so they can see what you're working on. You're transparent there, but and for example, you want something from your customer, like you want them to send you a photo. You create a task for them and dedicate it to them so they can actually accomplish this, upload the photo to Nozbe and get it there. But they cannot modify your tasks. And they can actually add comments to your tasks so they can, you can get feedback from them. So I haven't addressed this in the webinar, but there are these 3 levels of project interaction. So, but on each level, you can see everything in the project. Like if you want to hide something from someone, just create a different project with a different list of participants. So for example, you can have 2 projects for the same customer, one internal project, and then the other one would be external project with the tasks that you want the customer to actually see.
Exactly. Okay, thank you. And now we've had some questions about the safety that you mentioned in the presentation. So could you repeat the comment on who can access the attachments and what they can't access? So could you please get back to that?
Safety and security of your data is something that I'm obsessed about. I mean, this is our business. The idea is that you should trust us. We should trust you. I mean, especially you should trust us, Nozbe. And then we have, as I mentioned, law firms, companies that are on the stock exchange, governments using Nozbe. So we want to make sure that this data is safe and it's secured. So on one level is that all the technical things that we do. So we have 3 types of backups. We have 3 totally different backups on different continents. We have all the details in the blog post that I hope you posted. So all the details are there. But to cut the long story short, technical issues, backups and everything else, it's there. But also there is the human issue. So to make sure that not everyone on Nozbe team can see everything, because we have a new hire, they shouldn't be able to just see everything, and be able to I don't know, snoop into what our customers are doing. And actually, we don't care about it because we have 300,000 users, and we have so many tasks on our own. You have seen my priority list. I mean, we have things to do other than looking at our user data. So what we do is we limit who can access what. For example, customer support people, they can only see your last movements and not even the details of your movements. So they can actually know what's happening. So if you have a sync issue or some other issue, or you deleted something, they know that you deleted something. They don't know exactly what you deleted because they shouldn't care about it. I mean, they just know what's happened, and then they have means and idea and tools to help you solve the problem without actually looking at your data. So it's one thing. Second thing is, we have only a few people can access like the database, and we limit this, and we limit, what developers can see, what we can see. So this is also important. And also the encryption. So for example, for attachments, we encrypt the attachments. So we cannot really open attachments at all, because the moment they're uploaded to Nozbe servers, they're being encrypted, and we have different encryption keys on different servers, encrypted files on different servers, and we have backups of these as well, of course, because we have backups for everything. We're crazy, and this way we have no way of seeing your attachments. That's why, for example, we have. I mean, this is very important for lawyers. This is really important for companies on the stock exchange, for the governments, to have this information really, really safe. That's why. We are crazy about it. We have all the infrastructure there, and we are actually improving that even more. And additionally, we have audits from other companies checking our servers, testing our servers, for vulnerabilities, for other things, to make sure that nobody can break in, nobody can really access our data. And so we really are crazy about it, because I want to sleep well at night, and I can sleep well at night when you can sleep well at night. When you know that your data is safe. And if I would lose some of your data, it would be the end of my company, and I cannot allow it, because we have a bigger mission here. So we make sure that we are safe, and we have like on top of things, we have a system that if our main data center just I don't know, is hosted totally, like I don't know, there is an earthquake there, or I don't know, the Martians are attacked, I don't know, we can replicate Nozbe within 15 minutes on a totally different server, on a totally different continent, and you won't even feel it, because it will be just like a 15-minute downtime, and actually your Nozbe will not sync, but then it will sync back, and the information will be there up to date. So really, there's no way of losing your data. I mean, we are really crazy about it, and we want to make sure that it's safe.
Exactly. So if you're interested in the details, please head over to our blog, nozbe.com/blog, and you can read the whole article about safety. And next question about using Nozbe in companies. So do you know of any companies that use Nozbe as a CRM tool? And if so, do you know how they organize their Nozbe and their work around Nozbe?
Yeah. So what some of the companies are doing that. Nozbe is not per se a CRM tool, but some are doing that. As far as I know, I talked to a few customers. They have. I mean, I think for them, each project is a different customer. They have different tasks. They also and with categories, actually, they use categories very smart. They put different like categories depending on, for example, like critical issue, like or for example, when they are in sales funnel, they say like in a prospect, sale, or close to sale. So they use actually categories as a way to see, you know, who's advancing, who's not advancing, you know, how they are doing. So they use the intersection of projects and categories to have the customers there, and then to have the status of the customers. So this is how they do it. I mean, as I said, it's not a CRM tool, but people are doing that, and with success, I guess.
Yes, and I think that thanks to the flexibility of Nozbe, of our product, it's really, it depends. Everyone can use it in a different way. So there's no one right way for a CRM company to use Nozbe. They can all just use it as they want. So they can just develop their own way for using different features.
Yeah.
Okay, and now a question from Rebecca. Can you forward an email to Nozbe to add it to an existing project?
Yeah, I mean, this is really easy. So all you do is just modify the subject and then put hashtag and the name of the project. And you don't even have to put the full name of the project. You can put like a part of the name, and Nozbe will be smart enough to actually recognize there is this project there, and it will just add it there. So it's really easy. There is also a trick which you can find, I think, on the help page, is that you can actually email even a comment to an existing task if you want to. I mean, it's more complicated, but it's doable. So, for example, our customer support does that. I mean, Natalia does that. Like, for example, if there is a new email from the same customer, they just forward this email to Nozbe, to the same customer task, you know, that they have there, to have more information there. So it's really easy. It's really easy, and it's this is what we do all the time. I mean, this is what you do all the time, and this is what I do all the time. So, and actually, I have this story that my wife was complaining that I wasn't answering her emails on time, and she was like, "Michael, you're not answering my emails and everything." I'm like, "Baby, I understand, but you know that we share projects together, and you know that Nozbe is my priority. Email is like my second thing, you know. So why don't you just create a task for me again?" And she learned how to forward these emails. So she forwards them to Nozbe with hashtag the project name that we have, and with hashtag Michael. So she delegates them to me right away. So it's really easy.
It's really easy, and just head over to our help page for more tips and tricks, because you can do a lot with emails when you forward them to Nozbe. And now a question from David. Is there a plan to integrate scheduling or planning, such as Gantt charts, in Nozbe?
Yeah, we are thinking about it. Nothing in the pipeline yet. This is in the brainstorming session right now. So we have to, if you think about it, you know, in Nozbe, what we want to achieve is a flexible tool. I've showed it in the webinar. We want to make sure that it's really flexible. On the other hand, we want to give you as much overview as you can on the project. So we want to make sure that when you look at the project, you know where it stands, when it should end, if you're on time, if you're on budget, if you're fine, right? So we are trying to add features for that. And we recognize that maybe sometimes you need a different kind of view, like, as you said, a Gantt chart or something like that. We don't know if we can provide that yet. How we can provide it within Nozbe, we are right now in the brainstorming sessions of that. So nothing I can promise you, but the only thing I can promise you is that yes, we are thinking about it and we are talking about it. So, and we are brainstorming this. So yeah, I mean, our goal, and it's a long goal, we want to make sure that we get people organized, we get companies organized, and we help companies communicate to tasks effectively. So we will use everything we can, all the power that we can to really make it happen without making our product too complicated and too cumbersome to use. So this is our mission, and we are constantly reevaluating all these things. And one of the things, the charts are also right now on our pipeline.
And if you have any suggestions for other features, just contact our support team at questions@nozbe.com. And we will be happy to collect all your suggestions and ideas.
Especially just send us a use case. For example, let's say I work like this. I would like to see that. I mean, if you can give us a very good use case, a compelling use case, it's the best. Because just like today in the webinar, I tried to give you as many examples as I could. So if you give us a story, a use case, it's easier for us to understand where you're coming from and what you want to achieve. And then, because when we look at the feature, we think, okay, you want this. But let's see, if you really want this, or you want something else, actually, but you want it to be done like this. It's like this famous phrase of Henry Ford. If I asked people what they wanted, they would say they wanted a faster horse, right? No, they wanted to move faster, so he created cars for them. So this is the thing. We are also looking at this like that. We analyze what you want to achieve, how you work, and then see if we can make it better. So that's it.
Okay, thank you. And Matt wants to ask, I like Nozbe for individual tasks, and it's good for creating lists of tasks in a project. But when you want to create subtasks, there is no feature for this. What advice do you have for dealing with these?
Yeah, so we believe that your information should be transparent and should be pretty flat. I mean, the structure should be pretty flat. If you start going with the tree, tasks, subtasks, it looks great on paper. I mean, paper can take anything. It looks really fantastic. But once you start working on this, you start losing, actually yourself. Where is that? Where did I put there? I mean, it was somewhere there or where. So you have to really watch out. So I have this rule of thumb that if I have a task which is pretty big, but it will be done in one day, so on the same day, but it's pretty big, it requires more steps. What I do is I add a comment, a checklist. And in Nozbe, you can add a comment as a checklist, and I put all the steps there. So for example, I need to sign up for this. So open account there, do this, forward that, all this information there. And this is my checklist for that. But if I have a task which is really big and requires more steps that will take me, different days, I will do them on different days, I convert this task to a project, and then I put tasks there. And for example, what I do is very often, as I mentioned in this example, like I have 2 projects for 10-step course. One is for the launch, and the other one is for the content. And they are actually not project and sub-project. They are 2 projects. This way, they're flat on my structure. But I can glue them together, for example, with a label. So I can, for example, put a label, 10 steps, and then I can see only these 2 projects. So this way, I get all the flexibility, but then again, it's a flat structure. So for example, I see that I have 100, for example, projects, and not 50 projects, but then I have 50 more sub-projects, and then 50 other sub-projects. It gets really complicated. So trust me, I mean, we've been, during our whole career of Nozbe, more than 9 years now, we've had people complaining and saying, and then coming back because it was just too complicated on the other side. So really, just for your own sake, please try to be as flat as possible. I know that sometimes you might want some sub, thing going on, and this is why we have checklists, we have labels, we have these things to make sure that you can actually use Nozbe the way you work. But we explicitly designed Nozbe in a way that you cannot go the rabbit hole to create a tree. Because once you start creating a tree, it looks great, but it doesn't work great.
Thank you. I hope this answers your question. And our time is nearly up, so I'm going to choose a question about our business membership. For the Nozbe for Business membership, what support services does this include? So you talked about this in the webinar, but could you please repeat what's in the package?
So first of all, this is a new offering that we have. So we are learning also from our business customers. But so first of all, there's one person dedicated to your account. So you can ask them questions. They're right there for you, and you have the top priority for them. So when they start working, they're just your email is the most important for them. And second thing is, they're not only to answer your support questions, but also you can also consult them how to set up Nozbe in your company. They will send you, because we have so much content, so much helpful information, so many videos, it can be overwhelming. But with them, you can ask them, okay, I want to do this. How do I do that? And then they can send you information on that, and they can ask you information on that. And also, you can talk to me. So like I talk right now, I try to talk to all the business customers personally. Not all want to talk to me or can talk to me, are very busy. But for example, we try to schedule every Friday at least 1 or 2 meetings with my business customers so I can learn more about them as well. So this right now comes, if we get more customers and we won't scale anymore, so you won't be able to talk to me anymore. But now you still can, and I'm really happy to talk to my business customers. And then, of course, the additional features. So for example, while talking to our business customers, we have figured out, for example, what kind of reports they need, what kind of things they need, and we keep on building all these features right now. So in the version 3.2, 3.3, and the other versions of Nozbe, you will see all these new business features. So we are learning what the businesses need through these conversations. So actually, when you start a business membership, you get very good support, personalized support, and on top of that, you get to influence a little bit the product even more, because we try to, to cater it to the business customers. Because this is a new thing for us. We know what we want as a business, and we're already, a 30-person business, but we have bigger businesses who use Nozbe. So we want to learn with them how to make Nozbe better for them and more efficient for them.
Okay, thank you. I think we have time for just one more question. And I think this is an interesting one. Do you recommend using action verbs to start project's title?
Yeah, so my rule of thumb for that is that I prefer short descriptions of projects. So it's usually nouns, actually not verbs, but then I use action verbs for every task. So really, because I think the tasks should be actionable. So for example, the noun would be 10-step course or 10-step book. But the task would be create the introduction, or write the first step, or edit this, or create a draft for that. Every task should have a verb, and a verb that means, that actually says what we want this to achieve, what it means to be done. And this is the story of our life. I mean, Nozbe, I don't like when people say Nozbe is a task manager, because we're not about managing tasks. We are about getting tasks done. So our idea is to have them done. That's why if you have a verb, action verb for a task, it gets done. It's clear what should be done, what it means for this task to be done. But because by design projects are pretty short, and we usually use a short phrase for projects, I prefer projects to be nouns. But if you feel like you need more action there and put more verbs, do it. Feel free to do it as much as as you like. But this is what I do. So this is not like this is what I do.
Okay, Michael, thank you very much for answering all those questions. And thank you guys for being here today with us. Thank you. We really appreciate your time and the time that you spent here with us. And we'll be wrapping it up for today. So, Michael, do you have any closing remarks? So would you like to add something?
Yeah, so really, I encourage you to start really separating email from internal communication, from getting things done. I mean, email as a way to contact with the world, to have the initial thing, the initial contact, which is great. But then go and create project and get things done there. Forget about CC, BCC, and all these things, and don't get the actionable information mixed up with non-actionable information from the emails. So I would really separate that. So please try that. Please, sometimes maybe you should even really, as I said, ban email for a project or for an entire company. Do what you want, what you need, but you will see the benefits of that. So for me, try it out. And of course, if you like Nozbe, if you are a Nozbe user and want to extend your account, or you want to try Nozbe business account, want to start Nozbe business trial, or you decided to give it a try, right now is the best time, because only for this hour you will be able to get a substantial discount with 3 more months if you sign up for a year. So give it a try. And if you don't like it, we'll give you all the money back, so don't worry about it. But I'm sure that if you start doing that, you will see that you get addicted. You just get more done. You'll see it better. So thanks for being here, and I really appreciate your time here. And thanks for coming, and thanks for coming from all over the world. We feel so blessed that we can help you and help each other get things done.
So thank you guys once again, and thank you, Michael, and have a good rest of the day. Yeah.
One more thing, just for those who know that there is Euro Cup right now in Euro, so Poland is playing right now with Portugal, against Portugal. So it's soccer, or football as we call it here. So I hope you can support our team, national team of Poland. We're going to watch the game right now, so go Poland. Thanks.
Yeah. Fingers crossed for Poland. Thank you guys, and take care.